Hello and welcome. This is Saltface. I am George. I am about to make a big reveal about what happened over the last 18 months. Now, in this video, I'm going to provide an honest review of my training log. It is public anyway, as you can see. I got nothing to hide. I have only myself to blame, if you will, if there was anyone to blame for how little I've been running compared to what I had intended. Now, as I said in the last video, we had a baby, which is fantastic. Absolutely love the little thing. He is bringing joy into our lives every single day. At the same time, it's not been easy. It's been a huge change to our lives, and we've had a lot of other things happen over the last 18 months. As we all know, we all been through a lot over the last few months in particular. Now, as of this week, I am back to my minimum running routine of 3 short runs a week. I've actually gotten back into my routine a few weeks prior, but you see this big gap here. So, during this gap, what happened? Well, firstly, this is when I tried to reintroduce my running routine. We were away on a trip with a few people, and unfortunately somebody who joined got ill on the way, and everybody else got ill except for me and the little one. But we all had to stay in the house, and although I wasn't ill at all, but I also had to stay just in case there's a risk of transmission. So that marked the following weeks here. Not allowed to leave the house, not able to run, and don't have a treadmill. So not much opportunity here. So last week I definitely could have gone running, but the weeks before have been so demanding. I'm sure I could have if I had really forced myself to, but I just allowed myself to do a week of transitioning. And that's what I did last week. So this week, very happy with what I did. I had some really good runs. My first run on Monday, I felt very strong. It wasn't particularly fast. At this point, my goal is just to get out there and get my runs in. I'm not so concerned about pace. Having said that, I am actually quite all right with it being at 6 minutes a kilometer after such infrequent running and being able to do 6K. But most importantly, I felt great during the run. So anyway, so that's the restart of my running routine. Now let's look back a little bit further. We actually need to go a while back because I got out of my running routine. When was it? In probably somewhere around here. So we sort of realized, if you will, through testing that we were expecting. I think it was in April, May. Can't quite imagine, but yeah. So my real running regularity had already dipped. I think roughly around February was when things got a bit more infrequent, I'm guessing. Let's look back here. Yeah. So see here, this is what good weeks look like. At least 3 runs. That's not bad. Yeah. So this was. These were the good old times, if you will. And then early that year, so early 2018, here, very shortly here, this is where things started to get a bit more patchy. Got a bit more patchy. And let's be kind to me, and let's say that these were rests based out of solidarity to my wife who conceived, and her body changes and me being there for her. I definitely could have kept my running routine going here, especially here. I mean, I don't remember what happened there in late April that year. Maybe I got ill. I think I got sick. Yeah, I got sick for some reason. And then a little bit more running here. Not too bad. 2 runs a week, 2 runs, a run, 2 runs, 1 run, 3 runs, 3 runs. Not so bad. Not so bad. So this is all still, no baby out, but my wife getting progressively, not more pregnant, but you know what I mean. She's been pregnant continuously. It's a bit binary in that regard, but our baby growing and it getting more and more difficult. Some of these runs we actually got to do together, which was fun during the earlier part of the pregnancy, not the first trimester, but definitely the middle trimester. We had some really, really cool runs together, which was really nice. That our baby boy, in a way, came on runs with us before even being born. So here we go. Now this is where it starts to get patchy. 1 run a week, 1 run a week, 1 run a week, 1 run a week. Okay, so you can see already, even during my wife's pregnancy, I haven't really been great at keeping up my running routine. I didn't have a running event as a goal anymore. In my mind, the most important thing was to support my wife and help her be as comfortable as possible. And unfortunately, in my mind, that often means that I forget about looking after myself. So here it starts to get really patchy. You see a run a week, a run every other week. Not so great. So here we're getting to the tail end of my wife's pregnancy, and it's getting really patchy already. Not great, and this is really all just down to myself. So the one thing that I would take away from this and encourage you to do if you're in a similar position is to just make your basic running routine non-negotiable. You know how good you feel when you're keeping it up. I know how great I feel when I'm keeping it up. I really, really wish that I had just done this. 2 runs a week, half an hour is not a great deal. And if you compare how strong and how happy you're feeling when you keep up your running routine, with 2 short runs a week, and you talk with the other half about that, I would be surprised if there was any resistance. I know for sure there would not have been any. In fact, my wife kept encouraging me to go running, but who knows why in many cases I didn't run, especially here. Now, what happened around this time, you see here, first run as a dad. Yeah, we had our baby boy a little bit before that. And the first couple of weeks, 3 weeks, they are just intense. It was very demanding on us, and it was incredibly joyful because we've been waiting for the little boy for 9 months before, and finally here. And yes, super joyful, but the sleep deprivation is very difficult. And we had our respective moms visit, and they helped us a great deal, but of course that was not continuously for all months on end, but while they were here it was definitely very helpful. But we were in London and we didn't have any other family around, so not an easy position to be in. Now this was a surprisingly good time here. I am quite happy that I went on to so many runs. So this was when one of our moms was here, and both of our moms, but not in an overlapping way, and that definitely enabled me to get out there. So if you do have the support where you can have family be around to relieve you if you are just with you and your other half when it can get difficult, certainly was for us, definitely use that as an opportunity to get out there and get your runs in. Definitely. And then you can see here where the blanks were. And then we moved country. So we actually prepped for moving country during these 2 weeks here, packing everything up, getting rid of a lot of stuff to charity, sales, friends, recycling, and last resort, clearance and garbage. And then we moved country. So here we went to relocate to Portugal, yeah. And I 1 run a week. I really wish I had done 2 runs a week, but at least 1 run a week. And that's the thing. So in retrospect, I'm grateful that I got to do these 1 runs a week. But I think to really get the benefits for me, I need a minimum of 2 runs a week in order to keep my health up. And there are several weeks here where there was nothing. And this is all down to me. My big learning from this is to just make these 2 runs a week non-negotiable They are just part of my life, part of my lifestyle. That's what keeps my mental energy up. And going into the later months of last year, same thing. You see so many gaps here. Not good, George. Not good. Not good at all. Woo, whoa. This is just blank, 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 blank. Ouch. Ouch. And I can tell, sleep deprivation was still big here. We finally had enough sort of reassurance from medical professionals and everything that well supported, present, and sleep coaching for our baby is possible as early as 4 months. Actually, we only started doing it here when he was like 9, 10 whatever months old, and that's when things started to shift. But the sleep deprivation was a huge drain on me in particular, and I felt so incredibly drained. It was really challenging. And here's just nothing going on. Look at this. There's just months of nothing. And then finally in March, starting with some runs. So this here, the irony is, right, I was actually really feeling quite blue. We were starting to get some stability around this time, and I was starting to feel a bit better. And then COVID-19 happened, and all of a sudden that stability and the regularity that we had went away again. And we were then in lockdown and very little running here. I did do a lot of walks with the baby, a long walk every single day, which was helpful. Could have used the buggy to do some running. For some reason, I didn't do it. And then going in here. So, I can definitely recommend getting a buggy. I haven't used it nearly as much as I should have. That's going to start now also, and bring that in the morning there. I'm probably going to do, I might do a separate video where I go through the mental shenanigans that were going on in my head that really blocked me from using the buggy that we had in order to go out there with the little one in the morning for a run. He usually gets up at 6, just after 6. And it would be a great thing, he gets fresh air, I get my run in, boom, done. Sounds easy on the surface, but not in my head. Okay, so what happened later on, I already explained. This was lockdown territory, and I actually had a relapse into depression somewhere over here. And we were in lockdown. My wife was working, so I looked after the baby, but I really wasn't doing too great, and took a while for me to get the mental switch going to then get myself out there. And I finally did, beginning here in late June. But now it's we're back home. We're out of post-lockdown, post-quarantine, out of quarantine, and running again. Overall, I haven't actually done this review before. I've seen this fresh, just as I've shared it with you. So you've seen authentic reactions, if you will, to what I have just seen here in my training log and my history. And in summary, if you have family supporting you when you're expecting, if you have family supporting you after birth, definitely get their help to cover while you go out on a run. When you feel good enough to run, manage that sleep deprivation. The one thing that really helped me was when the baby naps, I tried to nap in order to fill up the sleep a little bit. The good naps would last 2 hours. The short naps would last like 45 minutes or so. And in some cases, you can arrange around it. And I could get a shorter nap in, get up and go for a short run. So try and find those runs in. If you're in a position where you can afford a running buggy, there are more budget-friendly running buggies available for about 200, 250 euros / pounds. And they definitely do the trick to get you out there. because they're a little bit pricier than what you can get normal push chair, normal buggies for. The running buggies, because they need to be meet safety regulations also, so that there's more to them from an engineering point of view. But yeah, we bought the first one. Was 200 something thereabouts, and it was actually quite good, definitely sufficient, and does the job, right? So you're not going to run a marathon with your baby, but if you go for a hour run, even beyond that, if you wanted to, that definitely helps. Gives you more options to get your runs in, and the one thing that was probably the most difficult for me, that I am finally making my peace with, is there will be a period of tiredness, and that's okay. I haven't felt as fresh during these year and a half during this period as I have before, when I was in my regular running routine, of course. So for me, I need to be more tolerant of what tiredness I accept before saying going for a run. If I'm a little tired, that's fine. I go running and I keep my my biochemistry running well, and I actually will end up feeling better, feeling stronger. So those are the sort of key takeaways for me that I'm taking forward for me. Hopefully they've helped you. If you got any others, let me know in the comments. I'm always trying to help myself and help others in turn to keep the running routine going, or keep it coming back. This is my return now. I've finally made it. I'm very happy. But yeah, any tips that you have, feel free to share them below. I'll acknowledge them, definitely get back to you. And I hope you can join in the next video. Not quite sure what it's going to be yet, but there will be something coming very shortly. So stay tuned for more. Thank you very much, and see you soon. All the best for your runs and your family. Bye-bye.